What kind of words do you use on a daily basis? Are they primarily positive or negative? I used to use nothing but negative language on myself, about my work. It was terrible. A friend of mine actually called me on it and pointed it out, and I realized, wow, I am guilty of this. I need to stop it. I need to turn it around, and I need to change this terrible habit. That's what I want to talk about today. Hi, my name is Alan. I'm an actor and a writer living in New York City with my husband and our 18-year-old cat. Now, in the words of one of my favorite authors, the late, great Maya Angelou, one of her quotes that I just love is, "Words are things." And I love that image because words can affect our physical world and they are actual things. The rest of that quote, I'm not sure of it precisely, but I will give you the essence of it. She says, words get into our wallpaper, they get into our carpeting, they get into our furniture, they get into us. They take root. They fill our space. They lodge themselves in our bodies, in our brains, and our souls. So if you're going through life with this negative self-talk, that's a big reason why your experience is negative. You know, my mother, who I loved more than anything, and I will have 100 stories about her on here, I'm sure, but she was the queen of the worst case scenario. She just couldn't conceive of a happy, positive resolution to anything. She was always, oh, the plane might crash. Oh, the drunk driver might hit you. Oh, you might get struck by lightning. Oh, you've got to be careful. I mean, she would put her brain through the meat grinder and torture herself about these terrible possibilities. It was kind of funny at times, but when I look at it now, I think, wow, there was never a positive, happy thought in there. She just erred on the side of it's going to be bad. Years later, when I was in therapy, and I realized I had absorbed some of that from living with her for so many years, and I had taken that with me into life. But I was in therapy and I was talking about all of this, and my therapist came up with the best word. He said, you know, you're catastrophizing. And I had never heard that word before. And I instantly latched onto it. I said, that's exactly what I'm doing. And I had a word for it. So I was able to feel like now I have power over it. I can name it because it was this ethereal thing that just sort of floated in the air, but it was catastrophizing. So don't you catastrophize. And it's hard to break the habit. It really, really is. It's terribly hard, but you can do it. I did it. And I was starting with nothing but negative tapes running in my head. It just takes practice and repetition. And you have to really examine your thoughts, examine the words you allow yourself to speak. You know, in Buddhism, we talk about right speech. So it's having being cognizant of the words you want to use. A lot of times when I'm in a group setting, I'm the one listening to everybody talk. And I will have people say to me, you're so quiet. Why don't you talk more? And the truth is, I'm really listening and I don't just want to talk for the sake of talking. And if I do add something, I want it to be constructive and positive and, but I'm listening to the conversation around me and just taking it in. And it's okay to do that. Take it in, let it register, and form a reply. We don't have to be like this on comebacks or on conversations. You can take a moment. And that's what I did when I had to turn these negative thoughts into positive thoughts. So that's what I want you to start doing if you're not doing it already. Because this negative thinking stuff can be very debilitating. We're living in a world that is very challenging right now, but there is so much goodness around us. And that's what we have to focus on. And our language reflects what we focus on. And yes, we all get frustrated and we all get angry and we use certain words in the moment of anger and rage. But let's try and dial that down a little bit and try to just put a little more graciousness out there if we can. So, while you're thinking about what you're going to think and what you're going to say, I want you to go out there and do a random act of kindness for somebody. Thank you, as always, for being here. It really means more to me than I can tell you. I will see you on the next one. And until then, you'll have yourself a beautiful day. Bye bye.